Conor, everything was going well until they ran into a couple high-end NHL teams here on the road, and didn't go well with back-to-back losses against Florida and then Carolina. Just your thoughts overall on their performance in those two games.
Yeah, I mean, going into this back-to-back set of games against the Hurricanes and the Panthers, obviously it's early in the season, but Bruce Cassidy mentioned they were measuring stick games early on. I mean, you get wins over the Sabres and Sharks, who I guess they were undefeated at the time. But again, there are two teams that I don't think anyone expects are going to be at the top of the standings by the end of the year. So this is going to be your first real test. And sure, the Bruins had some injuries. They didn't have Craig Smith, Nick Foligno, but you still like to see them at least string together at least a point or two in one of these matchups against a team in Carolina who looks very good and Florida who looks stacked across the lineup. And you didn't really get much of anything. I mean, you're outscored 7-1, not getting a lot of offense. The only goal you got was a deflection goal from Coyle that kind of bounced off of a Florida Panthers. Like that's not really one you even kind of tip your hat to in terms of having it be tangible production. And I think probably the most concerning thing for the Bruins is that as much as they've had struggles over the years, they've had, issues with secondary scoring, what have you. They've usually been bailed out by the fact that they can still get points on the board off of just how good that top line is and how good their power play is. And both those things didn't show up, which is very, very concerning. Again, 2-game sample size, but if you're not getting steady, consistent production from those two areas of your lineup, it's going to be tough to string together points at a consistent rate, especially in the early going where, I mean, it's not getting any easier. You're playing Florida again on Saturday. So you don't want to get into an early hole. And the best way to avoid that is if your big guns start producing like they should.
Right. And that's it. I mean, it's 2 for 16 power play, 12.5% success rate, 0 for 5 last night, two-man, advantage opportunities. They got nothing out of it. So again, that has to turn around. Overall observations again, goaltending here, is again, it's always going to be, it's going to be an issue until we're certain you've got a guy or two guys capable of, remaining competitive back there. What are you seeing from these guys?
Yeah, I think Omar so far has been all right, solid, I guess. I mean, the game against Florida, a tough goal to let up in that first period. It was pretty much, Marchment scored. It was a failure all around. I mean, they scored on pretty much a 2-on-5. You lose a puck battle along the boards with Forbert, and then Clifton doesn't pick up Marchment, but still, you'd like Olmark to get that save. I think probably the one positive you can draw out of this game on Thursday against Carolina is that Swayman, I think, looked pretty solid. I mean, he technically didn't let up a goal to a Carolina Hurricane. I mean, he had 2 pucks that kind of bounced off of guys down low. I think Forbert pretty much should have gotten credited with that second goal on the power play for them. But I think it's just encouraging for Swayman, the fact that he's coming off the first real stinker of his career. It's always important to make sure those guys can kind of compartmentalize those bad outings and not let it snowball. Didn't have that happen, which was good. If you want to find any sort of positive, is that Swayman looks pretty solid. But again, not going to do you any good when your power play is playing like that and you're not getting any secondary scoring.
No, I didn't love how long he was left on the shelf after that bad start.
Yeah.
That was a little bit concerning, and that's not a way to get somebody their confidence back. Is to put them in the corner for a week, after one bad outing. But again, I'm still Team Swayman when it comes through here. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but it's the Allmark is kind of feels like a white knuckle ride when you're through most games.
I feel like he's one of those guys where I'm not sure if he's going to steal you many games, but if you're, he'll play solid. But and I think like Swayman has that potential to be a guy that puts up like a 35 save on 36 shot night. Like, I don't know if you're getting that from Allmark just yet. I still think they want to keep on building it up, but right now you kind of need your goalies to be elite. You have to have those 35 save kind of nights, because right now, especially if that power plays out of whack like it is right now, the margin for error is very, very slim.
Somehow Bruins fans will find a way to blame Tuukka.
Of course. Why isn't he back yet? Why isn't? Yeah, that'll be the new thing. Is why is it? He should be back already.
Yeah, he's milking the injury. Hockey's not a priority, and so
nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Anyway, Conor, thanks again. Bruins back at it, as you mentioned, Saturday. Stick with BSJ if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe there. Follow Conor Ryan and all his terrific Bruins coverage, as well as football with Greg Bedard, baseball with Sean McAdam, and of course basketball with John Corrales. Best sports coverage in town, $39.99 for your annual membership. It's 11 cents a day, people. So go get yourself some if you haven't already.